Hi everyone, welcome back. We've got a little bit of a long one for you today, so grab your popcorn, make some time for it. We've got a few topics we want to cover. Hopefully everybody had a great time at AirVenture. I know we did. The weather was certainly cooperative this year, no big storms. We had a great time there. We were in the booth with Brown and Miller Racing Team. We had our RV10 there with them. They're really kind of new to the experimental world, but they're actually a big name in NASCAR racing, Indy racing, etc. And they've got really good stuff on satellites and a lot of major air carriers. Bottom line is this: if you're looking for some hoses, they're working on kits for the experimental stuff, especially the RVs, but just call them for now, and custom lengths, they make them really quickly, good pricing, and really high quality hoses. So it's Brown & Miller Racing. And as I've said before, it's only because I believe in their product I'm telling you about it. So here's a shout out to Jason. Some of you came by and said, hey, we watch all your videos. We expect you to say hello to us once in a while. So I don't remember all the names, my humblest apologies, but we really did have a good time. And for those of you who came to the presentations, you know, I did one on pre-buys, one on flying to Alaska, and one on DAR. And I know the AA unfortunately doesn't record those, but Carol did take all the slides from those presentations. And if you go to our website, baselegaviation.com, and look at the respective tabs, meaning if you look at the Alaska tab, you'll see all the slide set from Alaska. And we really were jealous of all of you who made it to Alaska this summer. We got lots of thank you letters back, so that was pretty cool. So we're going to talk about some things on today's video. One, I know some of you have been wondering what I'm doing about the engine. We have made a decision. I'm going to share that with you in a bit. Let me tell you what we have managed to get done on the RV10 since AirVenture. Remember, before we left, I was working on the doors. I still hate working on the doors, okay? But managed to get the doors completely on, fitted, and the latching mechanisms all working. Now, the next thing is for those, plastic windows to go in, the windshield to go in, and then I can start building up all the fiberglass so they all fit nicely together. It'd be nice if they did that coming out of the mold, but they don't. And it's still been hot, miserable hot here in Atlanta, so I'm really waiting for it to cool off a little bit so I can push this thing outside to work on it and sand all that stuff. But let me show you the doors. We did utilize the Planearound latching mechanism. It does take a little more work to install, but one, I think it adds a level of safety. You can see this midpoint locking cam. I really don't like Van's fit that they came up with for the problem, supposedly. It just doesn't look real good. This is automatic. So you can see as we lock the door moving forward, this cam comes in and actually pulls the door tight shut. And you can see at each end here, we've got really nice latching mechanisms, pins. These actually unscrew, and we'll put some nice magnets inside those with some epoxy, and then that will activate the door switches, which we'll wire to the EFIS. You can see how nice this mechanism works. Just finger touch there. Obviously, when it's on the airplane, it will be a little harder as it pulls tight and goes into the stops. But they actually do provide really nice, new, different kinds of nylon printed pieces here, both for the door and for the fuselage that the pins lock into. It really pulls it tight and fits very, very nicely. So I'm very happy with that. Still a lot of work to do. The kit actually comes with a real nice cover for this and a nice cover for this handle. It'll pretty it up. Carol's going to obviously cover this whole thing eventually, and you won't see any of it. But real pleased with that. Not looking forward to the rest of the work. People have asked me, hey, you know, we understand the plans. What do you do differently, Vic? So I'll tell you some things that I've noticed with both the seats and the doors, having owned RV10s now for about 3,500 hours, where I think some of the wear points are. What I've seen in the past is the door, this is the angle aluminum here. These actually rivet into an aluminum piece that you glue to the backside of this door before you put it together. There's a lot of pressure here from that door strut, especially for those of us who've started using the 600 Newton meter door plungers there. That Van is actually now shipping the 600 meter ones. You know, you start to put stuff on this door, whether it's some extra mechanism, some leather interior, etc. The door gets a little heavier. So you do need a stronger, pneumatic strut there. And so what I've done is, rather than use the LP4 rivets right here that the plans call for, because I've had those break off in the past, is I go ahead and use -5 Cherry Max. So I think they're 5-2s, and they're not coming out. They're as good as a hard rivet in there, and they've actually lasted for probably the last 400 or 500 hours on the current RV10. That's how I fixed that one. So that's the one addition I would encourage you to all think about on the door. Mainly, and also consider this latching mechanism. Yeah, it's a little more complicated to put in. I think it adds a level of safety, and it does appear to latch really nicely to the fuselage. So let's move on to the seats. I actually managed to get both seats done. See, Galesburg is coming up the week after next. So I'm going to be gone with the Stearman for a week, and Carol says, I need a project while you're gone. How about the seats? So we dropped everything else I was doing on the RV10 and decided to move and get the seats finished. It's a little bit of work. I don't know, basically they look like Oregon Aero seats unassembled. It looks like the cloth here has been replaced with aluminum. So I did make a change in here, only in the center section. On the center section, you actually rivet, let me see if I can get this so you can see it. You have to rivet each of these trusses to the bottom of the pan here. And I did not like the way the hard rivets were turning out. When I say hard rivets, I say AN 470s. I think they were 4-5s and 6s. And just in the center section, you can see up here they turn out okay, because there's a little more depth here to get a bucking bar in there. So what I did was I used Cherry Max rivets again. So there's only 20 of them needed here, but I feel it's much stronger. I had -5s here. You could get away with -4s, but I did 5-3s, and that's nice and strong. So that came out well. A couple other changes I would encourage you to think about is, one of the things I do like, Vans has just a little T-handle here to pull up the seat to move back and forth, and it kind of gets covered by the cushion a little bit, and it's kind of hard to fumble with, especially for passengers. You're trying to explain to them where to do, where if you think about, most of us get in a car and we're used to reaching forward to pull the seat up and back. Aerosport also has a really nice long arm here. It doesn't take much time to replace the little T-handle here with this, and then it's easier to use. It lifts up real nice, and you can see how nice the seat then slides on the track and then locks in place. Now, coupled with that, you will use the same little spring-loaded mechanism here, whether you use the T-handle or this. And I would recommend, right down here, if you can zoom in on that, I put in nut plates here. I've done that on all my RV10s. I learned the hard way on the first one. If you just put this on with nuts and bolts, it's really hard to reach in there and get those nuts on when this is all assembled in the airplane and you want to remove the seat. So why do we remove the seats? Well, there's some inspections perhaps you want to do, and you want the seat to slide out. So it's much easier. Then you can come in on this side just with a nut driver on your drill and pull out these -3 bolts. They come out real quick. This lifts up out of the way and the seat slides off. So that's another quick thing I would tell you, to take the time to do. It adds a little bit of time, but it's well worth it. One trick I forgot to mention when you're putting these seats together, this aluminum here back comes pre-drilled, and you just line it up with the square tube frame, and then you drill all the holes. And then you're going to rivet it using Cherry Max -4s that Vans provides. One of the things that they don't tell you to do is to deburr the backside of the hole. I really think you ought to do that. So I've mentioned this in prior videos, I think. Use a Burraway or a cogsdill tool. I don't know if you can zoom in and see that. You'll see how this blade retracts as it goes through the hole and then opens back up. So, and there's a picture of it we'll show you here. You just, before you put the rivet in, after you got this drilled, take the plate back off and just run this through at a slow speed, and it will deburr the backside of that hole very nicely for you. So that's the seats, and that's kind of where we're at now. I've got Carol with a project while I'm gone, so I'll know she'll be occupied. So let's talk about the engine. We've talked about that for a while. I've mentioned it. I've even written about it a few times. Speaking of writing, many of you know the Kit Planes magazine in the last month has kind of decided to fold, it looks like. So we'll see what happens here. You know, it was an outlet that many of us use to share some of our build ideas. So we're hoping maybe either find a different outlet or something will happen. I will keep writing for Sport Aviation. I love doing that. And maybe I'll just move some of those columns that way. We'll see what happens. But in those columns, I've been talking about this new engine that came with this kit. It was a Vans Lycoming IO540, the D4A5 stock engine with 2 magnetos on it. And that's, you know, primarily the one everybody orders. Although in the last few years, many of us have done the Thunderbolt engine. I know many of you out there have done it. I love my Thunderbolt engine. It was hand built. I see Tyler every year at Oshkosh. You know, the first year he goes, "Vic, I built your engine." That's the kind of passion I want with somebody building my engine. I really appreciate that reliability when we're in the backwoods of Alaska in the food chain. Not having to worry about it. It's taken us there 5 times reliably. All we've done is turn the key. So I've been wondering, how do I get that reliability in the new RV10? I've thought about swapping the engines. That way when I sell this one, it would have a new engine in it. But more and more I thought about it, I'm just introducing risk into both airframes. So there's a person down in Sebring, Florida. Maybe some of you have heard of him. JB Aircraft Engines, Jimmy Broad. So Jimmy's done a lot of work on our customer airplanes over the years, and we've watched it. His customer satisfaction is just excellent, and his workmanship is excellent. Nothing that I've seen goes back to be redone. And Jimmy does a lot of certified work. He also understands RVs. He's been doing RVs for a while. Matter of fact, he had a couple in the shop while we were there. You'll see some pictures we took. And we've decided, we went down to see Jimmy here in the last week, and we took the engine to him. So Jimmy's going to work some magic on our brand new Lycoming. It's been in the box for 2 years, sealed. Yes, it should be. We should be able to put it on the engine, on the airframe. I'm just not comfortable doing that. Guess what? Jimmy agreed, and he's got some tricks up his sleeve. It's a really interesting shot. Jimmy, he'll tell you, I think, about himself in the video you're going to see at the end of this. He's been there for over 35 years. He actually bought the business from his father. So there's a huge history and a lot of knowledge there in that shop. Matter of fact, they got a lot of their own specialized tools that they hid before we came in there. They know what they're doing. And so you all have the chance to see the engine, because Jimmy's going to have it ready for Sun and Fun next year and put it on display there. And I can't wait to see it as well. So that's what we're doing with the engine. We're pretty excited to do that. And please take the time to watch the interview here with Jimmy while we were down there. You'll see the shop. And also while we were down there, it turns out Jimmy actually shares a hangar with another person by the name of Grant Saunders. Grant is one of these guys that's just full of energy. Reminds me a lot of you younger people, and even myself when I was that age. And he has the repair shop there. So he's doing a lot of condition inspections, a lot of annual inspections, a lot of hanging engines, removing and hanging engines. And they even have our maintenance book. So for those of you in Florida, perhaps, are looking for a place to get a condition inspection done on your RV, go see Grant. Again, they're right there at Sebring.
Carter Aviation.
And he's right there with Jimmy's shop as well. So I think that's about it for this time. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the interview with Jimmy here. By the way, ahead of this video, you're going to see a picture of a nice sign that says, "No video beyond this door." So I just want you to understand, we had Jimmy's permission to do what we did in his shop, and all the secret stuff was put away. But do notice the cleanliness of the shop and all the neat stuff. I mean, Jimmy's got stuff. He's got crankcases. I think he said over $1 million in inventory, so he can get it done for you. Well, I'm here explaining why we're at JB Engines today with the man himself, Jimmy. So we worked for Jimmy for a lot of years, sending engines from our customers, and just done a superb job always. Customer satisfaction is wonderful, but the reliability, and everybody out there knows I'm all about reliability. So we drove our brand new Lycoming engine all the way here between yesterday and today, and we're in Jimmy's shop.
Okay.
Anything you want to tell us?
Sure. I can tell you this is it. We keep our operation small. We don't keep it big. It's much easier to keep track of a small area than a big area.
A clean area too.
We have a 5-man shop here. Everybody's trained in all aspects. We do some NDT work here. If we have an airplane that is on a Part 135 or something like that, we'll send it out and have some additional NDT done for certification purposes. But for like experimental engines, for example, we have this one here that we're building for a RV7 customer out of Punta Gorda. We started with a brand new crankshaft, a brand new case. The cylinders are all Superior Millennium cylinders. It has the 9-to-1 compression, so we bumped the compression about half a point.
Okay.
Double EMAGs on it. Put the MT propeller governor on there. It's got the Superior cold induction sump. We like that. Engines run really good with that. Stainless steel pipes. Our collars, if we get a chance, we may do this on yours. We may switch and put the billeted collars on there.
Wonderful.
They're a little bit more, they just hold up better. They don't wear where the pipe falls in.
Yep.
This is a certified engine here. This is a Grumman Tiger engine. Customer flew in to our facility. We pulled the engine out of the airplane. Tear it down, clean it, all the NDT, the exchange components. It has a new cam, new lifters in it. A lot of the gears in the back we automatically replace, put new in. The crankshaft was within standard new limits, so we were good there. New Millennium cylinders, all matched weight pistons. So this is going into a Grumman Tiger. Then we even do O200s when we have to.
Oh, wow. When you have to, that's
when
funny.
we have to, yeah.
Back to this one, a comment I'll make. Some of our customers have mentioned that, and that's wonderful. You can bring your airplane here, and you guys take it out, take care of the aircraft, and put it back in.
We can. I work real close. I'm one of the owners of the facility here. I have a partner. His name is Grant. He's a very young guy, but he's got a lot of energy and does a great job. And I have him do the labor, pulling it out and putting it in, and we help him when we need to. And then I have some of those customers that have been with me for so long, they just assume that I do it.
Yeah,
and so we do that too.
And we should tell where the shop is at.
Yeah, we're in Sebring, Florida, right at the airport. And you know what I think is really cool about you doing that is everybody knows the fastest growing segment right now, the amateur built aviation, is the non-builder owners.
Yeah. So
many of them don't know how to pull an engine and put it back in. So that's a really valuable
and that's
service.
A difficult thing for us because everyone, let's just use an RV7 for an example. There's so many of them. Everyone's different.
Yeah, exactly.
When you fly in here. So it's very difficult for us, especially when we've been working in the certified market for so long. I'm used to being able to look at a parts manual and see what's supposed to be there. And here I see in their screen door parts holding, it becomes very difficult. So we have to weed through all that.
Yep.
There's a lot of people out there that haven't really earned that knowledge of building that airplane. They've gone and bought the airplane. Right. And some of those airplanes they need work.
Some are less than airworthy from what I've seen.
Right.
Yes.
That's right. Sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't think so.
I'll be very transparent concerning what we do.
What kind of time frame do you think somebody were to say, hey, Jimmy, just saw a big thing. I need to get an engine done.
So we invest a lot in parts.
Okay.
We invest a lot in parts. You can see all these are new cylinders here. Here we have a warehouse in the back that are full of new cylinders. We have probably about $1 million in inventory. Wow. in parts, and we still don't have everything. But we have the common things. So most of the time, for instance, this guy with this Grumman, which is very similar to any RV8, RV7, 6,
right, exactly.
We're going to be able to turn this around in probably around 10 weeks. Now, if we run into an issue where the crankshaft has scoring in it, where there's some damage beyond polishing the crankshaft and balancing it, then we send that out to have it re-nitrided after grinding. Okay. So we'll send that out to either Aircraft Specialties, Aircraft Engine Accessories, Airworks, one of those companies that are reputable that can do that work. And that slows it down. So a lot of the turnaround time depends on the condition of the engine.
Sure.
Crankcases are a big issue right now, but fortunately, we've been able to, it's harder and harder, but to accumulate some crankcases. Oh, wow. We buy engine cores, and we call it knock it in the head. If I buy an engine core and sitting in the corner of a hangar somewhere, I'll buy that core and then I part it out.
Okay.
and I'll take the best of everything out of it and have it certified and ready to go for some of my fly-in customers. So if you have an experimental airplane and you want to fly in and have us pull the engine, we will do that. But we get pretty detailed with it.
I know, it's a
and
challenge.
that part can become expensive. Yep. So it's almost we'd like to look at the airplane first.
Sure. I understand that.
See what kind of condition.
For those of you in the RV world, this has not been staged. We just walked in the door and started talking to Jimmy, but I hope you picked up on he understands the RV world very much so. So that's pretty cool.
Right. And but we're doing a lot more.
You do a lot of certified stuff, right?
We do a lot of certified stuff, but they work hand in hand. There's a lot of things in the experimental market that we can do. For example, if you notice on this engine right here, we have the bushings in here. Now these aren't torqued because they'll get torqued when we put the automotive. We're going to use iridium plugs in here and the automotive type plugs. Where in this airplane, it's going to have SureFly electronic ignition, but we have to use the automotive or the aircraft, the aircraft harness and spark plugs. We put fine wire plugs on those SureFlies.
So I don't know if I mentioned this to you. We need to talk to Jason at SureFly.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually created a harness now for the SureFly.
It's a split.
I saw it at Oshkosh to actually so we can run the iridium plugs with the SureFly now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I would love to do that on your engine.
Yeah, I think we'll try and do that.
Okay. That's excellent.
Great.
So
I don't know, you want to take a look at the shop or?
Sure.
It looks like the engine room.
This is it right here. Our cleaning area we keep separate because it's a mess.
Yeah.
When I try to invite customers to come in, but we have all the basic machining equipment in here like most shops would. These are some engines that are staged that are going to leave today. We've got this. This is a Mooney engine that we just finished up. It came in for a prop strike, and we went through it and a couple of things we had to fix and change and things like that. And then we got a couple of Baron engines here, a couple of 550s that are going in a 55.
Those look nice.
Baron, and those are going down to South Florida. That's an RB8 engine that's on the mount right there that just got done running. And then on the back side over here, this is an RB7 engine that was the guy bought it. It was a brand new Lycoming engine, been sitting for 20 years.
Wow.
So we were able to salvage 3 of the cylinders, but one of them had rust in it. So
after 20 years sitting?
Yep,
wow.
Yep. So one of they really weren't bad. This one had some rust where a little bit of corrosion had accumulated. So we replaced one of the cylinders. Again, we put the cold induction sump on the bottom of it. Converted it to an M1B configuration.
Okay.
This engine actually was started out as a had the counterweighted crankshaft in it. This was a blimp engine.
Okay.
Went into a blimp. It was an IO360 B1G6. So we've converted it to an IO360 M1B, put a new crankshaft in it. The crankshaft had an AD on it, so it had to be taken out.
How'd the camshaft? Well, with it not running, the camshaft
looked brand new.
Yeah, I bet. Okay.
So we were able to put the cam and lifters back in there.
Oh, that's great.
And at the end of the day, though, I think that he's probably going to end up with the same amount of money he would have been if he would have just hired us to build him an engine.
Interesting.
But it's everybody has their own ideas of how they want to do things. And this I was real fortunate to come to work here when I needed a job. And my father hired me.
How long ago was that? Your dad?
Back in 1993, full time. Before that, I had to work on summers and weekends. And,
wow.
But I started off cleaning parts, making $3.95 an hour.
Wow.
And that was 35 years ago. So
good for you.
Long time ago.
That's great. We're glad you're still here.
I bought my dad out about 10 years ago, and he still comes in and he helps me rebuild my starter adapters. Matter of fact, he's got one laid out right here. Right here on the bench. The Continental starter adapter. He's got it laid out there. And then he's left me some notes on my desk of what I need to order to get through that. And but not a whole lot of folks out there are doing that kind of work.
No, I agree.
As a matter of fact, if he wasn't willing to come in and do this, I probably would sub that out.
That's funny.
It's a lot of work.
Okay. Yep. Oh, great. Well, thanks, Jimmy. Maybe we'll take a peek at the hangar when we go out.
Okay, sure. Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate it.